The Christchurch rebuild has been beset by aftershocks, insurance problems and delays. Now business lender Lock Finance, which has about a third of its clients in Christchurch, says businesses are facing a cash flow crisis. With us now is the Chief Executive of Lock Finance, Simon Thompson. Good morning to you, Simon.
Morning, Ned.
What is the issue that you're observing here? Is it about timing, orders coming in and money coming in?
Well, everybody knows there's a stack load of work down in Christchurch, but that doesn't translate to cash flow on the table for these businesses. So we are seeing more and more examples of companies sort of at the smaller end of the chain that are really struggling to pay their wages and to keep their staff there while these delays are sort of going on. It's stuff in the pipeline, it's delays in getting approval, and it's then delays in getting payment.
It's hard to imagine how a company can be in trouble when they've got so many orders in the pipeline. So how do you bridge that gap?
It's all about cash flow management. These businesses, their biggest asset at the moment is their work in progress. They can finance their trucks, they can finance their diggers, but not many of them know how to finance their work in progress, the cash that's coming through. So it needs more flexibility from lenders, from banks, and all different products to be able to do that. But it's still a challenge right now. I think as growth happens, and there's a lot of growth coming, it requires capital. And that's either equity or debt, but they are going to need more cash flow in those businesses because the engine is growing, the beast is growing, and it's going to need more funding.
Just give us an example of what you're hearing from some of the businesses there. What are some of the situations that they're in?
I saw last visit a small drainage contractor. He's only got about 8 people there. He is surviving on emergency work, on sort of call-out stuff. That gets about $2,000 per job. Everything above that has to go through EQC and through a head contractor. Some of those approvals are taking 6 months. And so he has to keep paying his staff on a day-to-day basis based on the emergency work until he can get this other stuff coming through. And even when it comes through, it's just drip feeding through. So everybody in that chain has to be aware of the repercussions on the guy at the end of the line. So
is there any indication that people are dragging the chain, or is it simply just the scale of the rebuild?
I think it's a bit of both. We're seeing some resistance by the big contractors in actually making financing against these invoices happen. They don't particularly like invoice financing for some reason, and we're trying to say be more flexible because we know from our clients at Lock Finance that these guys have got invoices there to finance if the funds can be paid to a lockbox account.
So if there isn't more flexibility, what could happen? We see these companies go to the wall, fewer people to execute the rebuild.
Sadly, I know already that this drainage guy, for instance, has lost some people to Queensland because he couldn't retain them. I have another guy down there who's like about 4,000 driveways to do, and he's working with insurance companies. And he needs extra capital, and we've been able to assist him, but to be able to get through this hurdle of gearing up for the equipment and the people until the cash flow starts rolling.
Well, thank you very much for your time this morning, Simon. That is Simon Thompson, the Chief Executive of Lock Finance.